Welcome to Firearms of America. Today, as you guys can see, I have another pair of Salomon shoes or boots for a review, and these are the all-new Salomon Sense Ride 3 trail running shoes, and I am very excited to review these because let me give you a little bit of a preview. I do love these a lot. Unbelievably lightweight, excellent comfort. I do like the lacing system. However, I think there is a major problem with these trail running shoes, and I really hope that Salomon fixes this as soon as possible, because this is an unbelievable potential. Whatever the problem is, you'll have to watch the whole review in order to find out. Yes, sorry I had to do that. So let's start the review. As some of you already know, this review is specifically for my Ultimate Survival Boots section. And I know these are not boots, these are trail running shoes, but what if you were wearing them and something bad happened? Let's say it was January 6th and you were in Washington, D.C. and the Capitol Police started tear gassing you, and you had to run, you had to climb, you had to fight through in order to survive. Would these be good for that particular survival situation, or really any other survival situation that you can come up with? Because hell, 2021 doesn't seem any better than 2020, so yeah. Alright, so how do we make the judgment? We make the judgment based on 8 different criteria. Let's begin. Criteria number 1, of course, comfort level. And as I said in the beginning of this video, comfort level of these trail running shoes is freaking excellent. I love it. First of all, they are lightweight, and that definitely contributes to the comfort level. And let me tell you exactly how lightweight they are. This is, by the way, size 10. And as you can see, 11.3. Now this is very impressive, I have to say. In order to give you kind of a reference point whenever it comes to numbers, if you want something lightweight that will not bother you for your runs, for your extended hikes, right? I'm talking about 10 miles and more. Now, of course, you will be tired. You will get fatigued, right? From walking, from running, that's normal. But not from the weight on your feet because of the heavy shoes or boots. You want something under 20 ounce, and the more under 20 ounce it is, the better, obviously. And these are well below 20 ounce. Very impressive. There are a few other factors that contribute to the comfort level. One would be the flexibility of the bottom sole. As you can see, it is very flexible. Now, in order to test the comfort level specifically, what I do is I do a 3-mile run and then a 5-mile walk without any kind of stopping in between on a variety of different surfaces to test the outsole as well, which we will talk about later. But whenever it comes to my run and my walk, usually it takes me about a few hours, but then what I do is I wear the shoes for the rest of the day just to make sure that they are still comfortable. And like I said, all of these factors that I mentioned so far definitely contribute to the comfort level, but they are not all that I have to say here. There is also another factor. It's my favorite, ortholite inner sole, and I do like it a lot. First of all, it helps you with the antibacterial qualities, right? If you're running, if you're walking through some moisture, whatever, something wet gets in there so that the bacteria does not spread, this prevents the bacteria from spreading. Pretty good. Also, as you can see, it's very nicely shaped. Now, ortholite is not exclusive to Salomon in any way. They use them in other shoes, boots. A lot of hiking boots use ortholite because it is a very good inner sole. And a lot of times you will find the ortholite just being flat, the inner sole. This, however, is nicely shaped, and great job Salomon on it, because that is awesome. But speaking of the inner sole, this is not it. You also have another layer of cushioning, this blue stuff right here. As you can see, it's a very nice jelly type of feeling, which definitely adds up to the protection from the impact whenever you're running. So let's say if you're running not very properly, right? You're putting too much stress on your heels, that transfers to your ankles, to your knees. Not good. With all of the impact protection, It saves you, definitely. And usually you start running improperly whenever you get tired. The more tired you are, the more quality of your form whenever you're running kind of sacrifices. So this definitely helps. Now, the very final thing that I wanted to mention here in the comfort level is the feel of the fabric itself. Here in the toe box, everything is very nice and soft. Now, of course, you sacrifice the protection, which we will talk about later, but you get this very soft toe box, which is very comfortable. Absolutely love it. All right, so on the comfort level, if it was to measure on the 0 to 10, I would give these Salomon shoes a very solid 9 out of 10. All right, so let's move on to the next criterion. Criterion number 2, proofing and protection. Yes, so proofing wise, there's really not much stuff that I can say here. They are not waterproof, which I don't mind. I prefer my running shoes, trail running shoes, to be non-waterproof, because I've noticed from my personal experience that non-waterproof trail running shoes, they dry much faster. So yes, you will get the water regardless. Even if it's a waterproof shoe, you will get the water because there is really no shaft to give you that proofing, right? But with the non-waterproof, they just dry up faster. So I prefer, whenever it comes to the trail running shoes specifically, non-waterproof. Again, just a personal preference. However, whenever it comes to the protection, here it's kind of really, again, comes down to the personal preference, because here, as you can see, there is really not much. There's a little bit of this reinforcement at the very front, just this part, not this part. This adds a little bit of durability to the fabric, this design here, but really not much at all. However, this part right here at the very front, it is actually reinforced. So if you are running through a rocky road, definitely helpful. I kind of wish it went all the way up. In all honesty, I kind of wish that this whole actual hard rubber from the outsole went all the way up like this, so that you do have sufficient amount in the toe protection. But this is just my personal preference. Of course, nothing here in the shaft to give you any protection. The heel is nicely reinforced, and you do have a very nice layer of the hard rubber on the outsole to give you the protection from penetration if you're running on some heavy, not heavy, but the rocky road and stuff like that, something sharp, right? So, let's move on to the down with the proofing and protection. Obviously, this is again personal preference. Lighter boots, less protection. Where do you stand, right? Let's move on to the criterion number 3, quality and the design features. Now, quality-wise, Salomon, they know what they're doing. They've been around forever, I think since 1940s. These guys have been around doing some outdoors, hiking, travel type of gear and shoes, so they know what they're doing, and you can really tell by the reviews on Amazon. In fact, the Amazon link is in the description below. Check it out. Currently, there are more than 200 ratings, almost 5 stars, so people do like these particular ones. And you can check out other products from Salomon. People do like Salomon a lot, all right? And I never personally had any kind of quality issues with Salomon. I do have Salomon boots myself that I use pretty much on all of my hikes. My favorite ones, in fact. Never had any kind of quality issues with those so far. But whenever it comes to the design features, here usually I talk about the lacing system. And while this is my favorite quick lace system, there is this major problem with this shoe right here. I think personally it is a very big design flaw that was kind of overlooked. Here is the thing whenever it comes to the quick lace system. It's very nice, it's very quick. You press this button right here, it opens up, you open up the boot, you stick in your foot, and then you tighten this, whoop, that's it, done. But then you have all of this, right? So for this, you have a very nice pocket right in front of the tongue right here, where you roll up your excess strings and you stick it in there, right? So it's not in the way. Very good whenever it comes to the trail running shoes, because you don't want any kind of tripping hazard. However, here is the problem with this particular shoe. Only this so far that I've seen a problem like this. You tighten, this part, right? We're gonna leave it a little bit like this so I can demonstrate. You tighten this string, and then we'll keep it at that. So this is tight, and then you roll it up. To roll it up, and then you want to put it in the pocket, but the pocket is actually locked and tightened by the strings, so there is really no, it just doesn't make any sense. Now you can loosen these strings and kind of go underneath it, but then you will have loose strings. It's not going to be as tight as you want. And really what Salomon should have done, they should have just done the pocket starting a little bit higher above the top line where the strings go. And I mean, it might not be a huge thing, but honestly, to me, I think that is pretty big. You know, just kind of a overlook on Salomon's part. But done with that, let's move on to the criteria number 4, the outsole, traction and stability. Now, like I said in the beginning of the video, whenever I test the comfort level, I do a run and the walk on the variety of different surfaces. I start on older asphalt, going to the newer tarmac, and then going to the sand, dry sand, wet sand, rocky road, and then dry grass, wet grass, some trail surface, and I finish up on some shiny surfaces like marble and tile. And Salomon, as always, does not let you down whenever it comes to the awesomeness of the outsole. This outsole is just freaking excellent. In every way, it has a perfect balance of aggression and flatness. As you can see, there isn't really much aggression going. These grooves are not just sticking out there like, for example, on the same Salomon Speed Cross, for example. Those are very, very aggressive. These are not. But at the same time, you do have that aggression because these grooves are actually very sharp. But at the same time, you also have the simplicity of the outsole, which is good because whenever you're running through surfaces like sand or rocky road, you don't have anything here where the sand or the rocks could get stuck, adding up in the weight and sacrificing your traction and stability. So very, very good job there, Salomon, as most of the times usual. Alright, so done with the outsole, traction and stability. Let's move on to the criteria number 5 really quickly, temperature. Obviously no point here to talk about winter and cold because these are in any way not winterproof. They don't have any waterproofing. They would not be very good on ice, or well, they would be pretty decent on snow, and they would be pretty decent on ice more or less, but you wouldn't want them because no insulation, you will be freezing in these, and they're not waterproof. All right, but whenever it comes to the hot temperatures, these are just perfect. Excellent breathability, excellent feel of lightness, and of course don't forget you have your antibacterial ortholite, which is great, helps in the hot weather. Let's move on to the criteria number 6 really quickly, the sizing. These are definitely true to the size, no problems there. I always recommend here whenever it comes to buying yourself hiking outdoors type of shoes, like trail running shoes or boots, right? Like hiking boots or military boots, really whatever, any kind of boots. Get yourself half a size bigger than your normal shoe size. So if, for example, your normal shoe size is 9.5, you buy your sneakers in 9.5, you have your dress shoes in 9.5, you want your trail running shoes, you want your hiking boots, military boots, tactical boots in size 10. And what that does is it gives you a little bit of that extra space that you really don't need to have in your dress shoes or your sneakers. That will prevent you from getting fatigued. Your toe will be grateful you did that. Especially helps whenever you're going down the hill. Saves you a lot of that fatigue. Just a good advice that I got from one of my professional hiking friends. Then you guys are confused, what the hell is professional hiking friends? Well, professional hiking friend is a friend who does hiking for a living. He makes money off of hiking. He is sponsored by brands. In fact, Salomon's one of the brands that sponsors him. He is pretty big like that. He has his own YouTube channel specifically on hiking. So yes, that's professional hiking. All right, so let's move on to the criteria number 7, the balance of application. So if you were on January 6th in Washington, D.C., and you had to survive, you had to run, you had to climb, you had to fight, you had to do whatever is necessary to survive that day. Would these be good to survive in? Well, personally, I think these would have been a pretty good option, honestly, because they are very lightweight, so you can be quick in these. They do not sacrifice in any way your speed, your movement. You can run for a very long time in these if you are a good runner without feeling any weight on your feet. You can walk for even longer without any problems, you know, if you're used to long distance walking. Very good option. The only thing it comes down to is really personal preference, because they don't offer any kind of protection or any kind of proofing for that matter. They're not waterproof, right? So are you the type of person that prefers lightness and mobility over protection, or are you the type of person that is willing to sacrifice some of that lightness, some of that speed and mobility for the sake of some protection? You decide. It's your choice. And the very last criterion here, the criterion number 8, the price. Currently, these go about $120 on Amazon. The link is in the description below. There are a few color variations out there, over 200 positive reviews, so people definitely do like these shoes. They are kind of time tested already. The only thing that I wish, Salomon, please address this pocket issue. This is not good. Please do that. But other than that, I absolutely love everything about the shoe. Let me know in the comments below, guys, what you think about these Salomon trail running shoes, what you think about this review. If you have any requests for future reviews, definitely drop them in the comments below as well. I always look out for those and put them on my to-do list. In fact, I have next review is from my to-do list. Finally, those boots became available, the Salomon Outblast. So if you're interested in that, make sure to subscribe, because that one is coming. Thank you very much, guys, for watching. This was Firearms of America, and I'll see you guys in the next video.